Shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone while learning this truth. Peace and blessings and salutations to the elect out there scattered abroad, pushing this truth on the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and freedom to do so. It's a brother Tazamak coming back with a quick lesson. I'm going to call this lesson, A Wise Man Will Fear in Everything. Okay? And when you go into the scriptures, I'm going to get what that's talking about, but ultimately conduct yourself, watching how you conduct yourself, watching your every move. Okay? But when you go into the scriptures, it all goes down to having the fear of the Lord, which is the reverence. Okay? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right? And I try to get a picture kind of displaying like a literal sense of the prophets looking around, watching the surroundings, but in the spirit, that's how you ought to be. Okay? You can't just walk around and do whatever the hell you want. I'm in a good mood. I'm going to eat a bacon cheeseburger. I'm in a good mood. I'm going to go, do X, Y, and Z. Okay? We can't eat bacon. That's an abomination, number one. But two, you have to think before you act. Okay? And when I was growing up, something that my folks would always say is they would say, think before you talk. They would say that. I grew up with like an iron fist, used to get hit all the time and stuff. And so you need to think before you talk. And as I came into truth, I really started meditating on that as I was learning, as I'm growing. Because I'm not saying I'm an elder or anything. I never said that. I'm still growing. I'm still a young man in this thing. But I've learned to think before I act. Even talk, right? Okay, because you got to be on point with that as well. Conduct. Okay, you can't just say whatever. You can't just do whatever. We are to behave differently than these people in the world that don't have no filters, that do whatever the hell they want to, that are ultimately about to die. Okay? We have to behave differently. We can't show the same behaviors that they're showing. Okay? Because their behavior is not pleasing to Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shah. We want to do what's pleasing to him. So with that being said, we have to be on point in the spirit. We have to walk in the spirit. Okay, and I'm going to get scriptures on it. This thing is extremely serious. If you want to walk around and do whatever you want, the Lord will get you out of here. The Lord will kill you. Okay? Trying to, mess up the chemistry in the cap. A little leaven, roughly paraphrasing, a little leaven, I don't know at the top of my head, but a little leaven leavened the whole up. And it's sloppy if I butchered it. Okay? But you let that little wickedness in, it could spread to other brothers. You got a brother that's in the camp. He's secretly like eating a bacon burger. Okay? Then he, influenced another brother, and that's a bad example, or he secretly likes to look at other women that have a man, like not even glance like, oh shit, I'll do something to her. You hear, what the fuck, brother? Like, she got a man. I mean, but so what? She still, you know what I mean? You like, what? That can lead to something else. You gotta be on point, man. And literally, we're the only righteous people on the planet Earth because we watch these things. Nobody else does. If you try to get on somebody about their conduct, they're going to cuss you out, want to fight. What the hell is wrong with you? Who you think you are? Do as thou wilt. Which is wicked. That came from Aleister Crowley. That's Satanist. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get some precepts. And we want to be found blameless, man. We're literally at the finish line. Right here. Okay? A few more prophecies we're waiting on. Okay, so we want to be found blameless and do what's pleasing to Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shah, not the contrary. So this is Sirach 18 and 27. A wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning, he will beware of offense. Okay, the scriptures tell you to offend less, so I'm going to get that. Okay, a wise man will fear in everything. Why is it saying that? Because you watch how you conduct yourself. Okay, you live wisely. Okay, we always thinking about the spirit. We always in the spirit. Okay, not saying we don't know how to have fun, but if we do go out and get amongst these people, man, we can't do everything they do, man. Imagine you went to you with your woman, you go out to like a cool little restaurant bar. People dancing, they got food, they pull out a shrimp platter. Which I've been in situations like this. I had to turn my cheek. Hey, baby, you hungry? Nah, I'm not hungry. But you said you were hungry before we left the house. I don't want to eat abomination. Period. You keep pushing it, we about to leave. You gotta be like that, man. Okay, is a piece of shrimp worth your salvation on a chariot? You would think, damn, something small like that. Yes. Yes. Okay, the Lord takes these things very seriously. It says a wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning, he will beware of offense. But a fool will not observe time. You know, we redeem the time. Okay, we make the most out of the time that we have here to do what's pleasing to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. The 2/3 is having a party and living it up. Okay? The 2/3 is having a party and living it up, man. Having the time of their life. Okay? Which is off. I'm going to get this next. In the book of Colossians 4 and 5. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. Why does it say that? Okay? Let me get into NOT. Live wisely among those who are not believers, and make the most of every opportunity. You have to watch how you conduct yourselves around these people. Okay, because the ministry is going to get blamed regardless in the end. That's Esau's objective. All right? With that being said, you don't want to give extra ammo, because you have people that say, you're a man of the Lord, right? Well, why are you acting like this? Or why are you acting like that? They look for anything, these people in the world. Anything. You said a cuss word, that's not a sin. Well, the people in church don't cuss, but they demons, they do everything else. Jake is simple like that. You said a cuss word, you're not a man of the Lord. You said, you called that woman a bitch, you're not a man of the Lord. Well, what scripture says that? What scripture says that? Thou shalt not be rude in speech. They try to come up with anything. You see? So we have to watch how we conduct ourselves around them. You don't want them thinking that, damn, this nigga worse than me, and he's supposed to be a man of the Lord. He be out there screaming at people all day, and this dude is worse than I am. Okay, if they're thinking like that, you need to really evaluate your spirit, which they might try to say stuff like that to throw you off, okay, because this is how these demons get down, but you know you. All right? And it says, redeeming the time again. We make the most out of every opportunity we have to do what's pleasing to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, to get our spirit right for that great day of the Lord, which is coming soon, man. It's very close. It's nigh. Okay, it's near. All right? So we have to conduct ourselves as such. I'm going to get this next. I'm going to go back to Sirach. I'm going to go to 17. What is this? Okay, Sirach 17. And I'm going to go to 25. Return unto the Lord